Oh boy, man, both of us 3-0. It's kind of nice not having to do an I don't want to talk about it episode.
Yeah, I mean, thank God we're not Bengals fans.
Oh my god, we did it!
I don't want to hear it from a guy who's half his fan base is Swifties. Broncos country, let's cry.
Back to the Super Bowl.
Why'd they put the trash cans next to the Cowboys helmet?
You could take it and shove it up your face. What I really need to be hearing from you, though, is thank you.
Good afternoon, football fans, and welcome to our Week 3 recap of the Trajan Sportcast. I am your host, professional wrestler, and undefeated 3-0 Kansas City Chiefs fanatic Christian Temple, joined alongside, as always, by my good friend, the terrible towel twirling, and also 3-0 Pittsburgh Steelers fan, Trajan. How are we doing this fine day, my friend?
You know, it was nice to return the favor and beat one of your division rivals.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now you're going to do the same thing next week, right?
Of course.
Is it next
Keep on
week?
beating up.
Is it next week or 2 weeks when you play the Raiders? Because you got
3
Colts
weeks.
this week.
So we got this game is versus the
Colts.
and then we got Cowboys. I believe.
Cowboys. That's right. Okay.
Then Raiders.
That's right. Okay.
But the only people that need to be scared is the undefeated Miami Dolphins.
You're right.
We're coming for the record.
Coming for the record, baby. What if Sam Darnold was the one that
The one
took
who breaks it. Oh my gosh.
God.
I mean, if any fan base probably deserves it, it's either Vikings, Detroit.
See,
Bears already got one.
here's how it's gonna happen. Here's how it would theoretically happen. Vikings undefeated season, perfect season, lost in the divisional round because the Vikings just can't have anything nice. That's just how it is.
Oh my gosh.
That's just how it's gonna be.
Somewhere a Vikings fan is crying.
Absolutely. All right. Well, yes, as we mentioned, we have a couple pair of wins here. Since I believe we went first last time, so I'll let you have the floor of your schlacking of a very hurt Chargers team that I didn't think things could get worse for them, but you guys found a way. That's for sure. You found a way.
You come to Pittsburgh, you prepare for a physical game.
That doesn't sound like a Pittsburgh accent.
Sometimes the pansies get weeded out here. Well, so first off, I'm going to start by saying Justin Herbert had no business starting this game. I mean, I get it. They wanted to get the win. Taylor Heineke, probably not the best option. But, wow. Putting a quarterback with no movement in his game with a high ankle sprain against TJ Watt and company, not a smart move.
Oof.
And here I thought he was a good coach. But, any hoozles. We got the dub 20-10, and really it wasn't even that close. We could have scored again at the end, but wisely decided to run the clock out. Najee had a pretty good game, 18 carries, 70 yards, no touchdowns. The only rushing touchdown came to Justin Fields. He gets that honor. Justin Fields also threw a touchdown through the air. He was very efficient, 25 for 32, 245 on the yards, one touchdown. The interception wasn't the greatest throw. It was also a tip pass. I'm not going to put that fully on him there. Overall, it didn't hurt us. But yeah, no, it started out, the Chargers drove down the field pretty much right off the bat there and went up by a touchdown. And they just kept on driving on us. We held them to a field goal again. It's like, oh no, here we go. Offense doesn't do anything. Then we laid it up with a touchdown. And that got us going. We get into the half, down 10-7. Come out, score a field goal, 10-10. And then from there on out, it wasn't even close. Calvin Austin had an amazing catch and run, 55-yard touchdown. Good to see him get into the mix. One of our speedier guys. George Pickens, pretty good day. 5 receptions, 57 yards. But yeah, overall, clean game. Just that one interception. Don't really like that happened, but we beat a formerly undefeated team.
A 2-0 team, absolutely. Your home opener. What better way to start out the season? Yeah, it's kind of hard to lose when your defense gets you 5 sacks and 7 tackles for loss, as well as an interception. And yeah, when you bring in Taylor Heineke as your backup quarterback, things aren't looking so good for you.
Yeah.
No, I agree with what you said. Like, Justin Herbert really should not have played in this game. I mean, I know you're 2-0, you're trying to, keep things going and all that too, but if your quarterback is, not 100%, and I mean, that O-line, it was solidified with Joe Alt, but even he was no match for the rush of TJ Watt. And actually, Joe Alt even suffered an injury himself in that game, unfortunately. So, but yeah, I guess all I can say is thanks for softening them up for us, potentially.
We may have done too good of a job.
Yeah, so because through everything else, I mean, Derwin James, I mean, that was just through his own stupidity. Targeting and just complete unnecessary roughness. If that was,
you didn't hear what Harbaugh said though.
I heard Harbaugh was disappointed with the NFL's decision. I didn't.
It was
hear
the
quote.
Titans' fault for it.
Oh, Freiermuth?
Yeah, he said it was the Titans' fault for lowering down like that.
So is that the same argument as look what she was wearing or something like that? Because I think that's Harbaugh's reasoning behind that. I mean, there's no excuse for something like that. Honestly, it's especially when it's someone's health on the line too. That was totally uncalled for, ridiculous on his part.
See it if Freiermuth was diving for a first down, he was already coming in. I don't know.
It was unnecessary, clearly, and the suspension. I mean, unfortunately with Derwin James, it's this isn't a first time offense kind of deal with him. So I mean, unfortunately, just how much can you take before more serious repercussions need to be enlisted. So, but yep, a good win for you guys at home. I mean, it was a slow start for you guys, I will say, offensively. But yeah, the Calvin Austin touchdown that blew things wide open for you guys too. And of course, it's one of those deals if you're expecting flashy, high scoring, high flying offense and all that too, you're watching the wrong team. The Steelers are not going to be the team to give you that. What they will give you though is someone that's going to manage the game well, and they're going to get a defense that's going to make it extremely hard for offenses to score. And that's the formula for you guys this year. And if I was a fan, I would be all for that too, honestly.
It is pretty nice seeing TJ Watt all over the field.
Absolutely. He's still not going to win DPOY though.
Probably.
We'll see come February here.
All right. Even with that terrible defense they have right now.
All right. Well, moving on to the other 3-0 team, and no, we're not going to talk about the Vikings too much. We're talking about the reigning, defending, back-to-back Super Bowl champion. Let's hear it, Kingdom. How about those Chiefs? And boy, did you hear Chiefs at the end of the national anthem in Atlanta. At least the cameras didn't have to hide from the crowd, because there was plenty of red in the crowd. If you're far away enough, it's oh wow, it's a lot of red in the crowd. Must be a lot of home fans. No, KC showed up big time in Atlanta. Of course, I got to give credit where it's due. Steelers did the same thing previously at Mercedes-Benz Dome. So it's going to be funny next week. I'm kind of jumping ahead, but it's going to be kind of funny next week. Because this previous week, when we get into the game, the Rams 49ers game, my God, was it a sea of red at SoFi Stadium. And I'm willing to bet money that it's going to be the same scenario this week against the Chargers. But before we get to that, let's talk about the Chiefs' victory over the Atlanta Falcons. Not a very exciting game. I mean, yeah, it was a very stressful game, I will have to say. 22-17, the final score. Of course, Justin Simmons having to keep his... I spoke it into existence, too. I spoke it into existence. I said it I think I said it on the podcast last week. I said somehow Justin Simmons will probably get another interception on Mahomes. And after a efficient 17-play drive, knocking on the door in the red zone, Carson Steele, missed his assignment on a block. Pressure on Mahomes. Mahomes puts it up in the air towards Noah Gray. Justin Simmons doing what he does best. Follow the quarterback's eyes, gets in position, picks it off. And Atlanta goes back down the field and gets a touchdown, takes the lead 7-0. So, rough start. But, got to climb back into it too. Harrison Butker, they tied it up, rather. Rashee Rice, easily one of his best games of his career as a Kansas City Chief. 12 receptions, 110 yards, including the touchdown. Got injured towards the end there too. Had to come out for a few plays, but sounds like he'll still be good to go for this week, so good to hear about that. Carson Steele, leading rusher, 4.2 yards per carry. Not bad when your first game as running back one. No rushing touchdowns this week. Like I said, besides Mahomes having the interception, 2 interceptions for two touchdowns, 1 interception, 217 yards passing from him. He had 17 yards rushing as well. Travis Kelce, not a great game for him too, but that just goes to show they're really clamping down on Kelce now, which is actually great because now Rashee Rice is the number 2 receiver of receptions and receiving yards, number 1 in the league for yards after catch. So, go ahead and clamp down on Kelce all you want to. That's just opening things up for Rashee Rice and hopefully Xavier Worthy here before too long too. Going down to, of course, the big story of this game, the defense. Chamari Connor, showing last week wasn't just a fluke with the scoop and score, gets a key interception here too, swings the momentum back in the Chiefs' favor, gets them between 1 point before the half, before they take the lead the first drive in the next half. Nick Bolton, probably with the play of the game, after going off the field with an injury. Bijan Robinson, instead of going up the middle, for some reason they decide they're going to do a draw play or run off or an end around or whatever the play call was too. And Nick Bolton slices through the gap, takes him down, shuts him down, and Kansas City escapes Atlanta. And I say escape. It wasn't pretty, but we'll take it. 22-17. And boy, a miss from Harrison Butker, the extra point that could have made it a 2-score game, maybe give us a little more leverage here. But the decisions from Coach Morris of Atlanta, to not take the points and go for it 2 times on 4th down. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. But man, that was probably not the best decision. I'm sure his emotions were running high after, that controversial defensive pass interference call. I'll bring it up because my God, were there plenty of makeup calls for it afterwards? Jesus Almighty. I didn't know it was deep defensive pass interference if the offensive receiver just runs into the guy. Apparently that's a flag. Why doesn't everyone do that now at this point? Also an illegal hands to the face that wasn't even close to the face mask, at least from the camera angle they showed. I will say the horse collar tackle, that was legitimate. That was just, dumb tackling by Jalen Watson. I'll call out what I see when, it's like you can't be doing that, especially on 3rd down. You got a chance to get off the field. You got to be smarter about that too. But the defense, even with all those calls, justified or not, didn't waver, didn't back down, and they were the reason the Chiefs held on to win. So 3-0, and as we mentioned, got the Chargers at SoFi Stadium. Mahomes never lost at SoFi as of yet, and I definitely expect to see a sea of red in LA.
See, the only thing I ask of you guys is, can you just not have a controversial call on the force call? I mean, what's up with you guys?
I mean, we don't control the yellow.
Do you?
Allegedly. Allegedly. I mean, like I said, I'll call out what I see, and what I saw, yes, that should have been DPI. I'll also call out the fact it's like that shouldn't have been roughing the passer by Chris Jones either, honestly, considering that there was hands to his face too, and he didn't throw the quarterback down. I mean, he didn't land body weight on him or anything like that too. There was no hands to the face that I saw from McDuffie, and McDuffie shouldn't have been called for that pass interference because Ray the Cloud just decided, I'm going to run into you. So
you willed him into him.
Apparently so. But like I said, it's one of those deals. The Chiefs should have won by more. I mean, that missed extra point and that opening drive that should have been a touchdown. It's self-inflicted wounds. But at the same time, good teams find ways to win games, and the Chiefs, they always seem to find a way. So we'll see if they find a way to win by maybe more than one score next week against the Chargers. That'd be awesome against a division rival. But yes, that was the recap for both of our respective teams. Let's go on back a little further in the past year too, to a game that I know New York was very happy about, and that was the Thursday night matchup with the New York Jets absolutely pounding the New England Patriots. And there's a little bit of hacking over here too, which that's kind of what Jacoby Brissett was doing. He was just hacking all over the field. Oh. Great win by Aaron Rodgers and the Jets. I mean, that's got to feel good, that a team that's, pretty much made you their what over the past 2 decades. Getting a win at home against them, it's got to build up your confidence. Especially when you score in every single quarter, too.
Oh, yeah. No, that's... They look like the old Aaron Rodgers. Mm-hmm. So, Jets fans are going to be hyped until the playoffs. And I think it's good for them. Absolutely.
All right, well, speaking of good for them, good for the New York Giants, too.
Yes.
Taking down the Cleveland Browns. And the funny part is, they didn't even score in the second half. They scored their 21 points, and that was enough. Malik Neighbors, 2 touchdown passes by himself. Amari Cooper also with 2 touchdown passes. But Daniel Jones, not a bad day. 24 of 36, 2 touchdowns. He didn't do incredible, but he did enough.
And he did it against the best defense in the league.
That's right. All those hypothetical sacks, right?
I know, exactly.
All right. Well, speaking of someone else, hypothetically, that should not have been on this team, Malik Willis of the Green Bay Packers taking care of business against his old team, led by Will Levis, his supposed replacement. 30-14, the Packers win. 17 points in the first quarter. Will Levis with a you look at Will Levis' stats and it's like, this really isn't as bad as you would think. It's just, man, he was not as efficient as Malik. Jeez, I mean, he's becoming a meme. Every single week there's a new photo. Will Levis is just a meme at this point.
Just on the knees, flying through the air, teabagged. Whatever it is.
Just unforgiving right now for the Titans. So, but anyone that hires a former Cincinnati Bengals as staff member as a head coach, I don't feel too much sympathy for him. But at least DeAndre Hopkins went to a Super Bowl contender, like you said, right?
Exactly.
All righty. Well, speaking of Super Bowl contenders, neither of these teams probably are. Chicago and Indianapolis. A little bit of a swerve there. Caleb Williams, 52 passes. That's kind of asking a lot from him too, especially when he's running for his life every single time. He still managed to get 2 touchdowns, but was not enough against Jonathan Taylor's fantastic day, 110 yards and 2 touchdowns. Great day for the Colts.
Oh yeah, Colts did a good job there. Bears, I've seen on their Reddit page, they're hopeful because of all the yards, but still a lot to be desired of that team.
They just the first 5 draft picks next year for the Bears just needs to be all O linemen. That's what it needs to be. They're pretty much set everywhere else, barring contracts and all that too. But it just needs to be just completely revamped O line too, because Caleb's he's doing everything he can. I mean, you watch his highlights, and it's fun to watch him, be evasive and everything too. Just not every single snap, though. It just gets
You
tiresome.
turn your quarterback to Andrew Luck.
God, exactly. Yeah, Colts know all about that, don't they?
Oh.
Well, probably
the next game, though.
probably the biggest surprise of the weekend, easily.
Oh
my
yeah,
God.
you thought this was going to be the Vikings' first loss, and my goodness. Yeah, 34-7, a beatdown. Texans really missing Mixon on this, but
that was just a collapse.
It was. I don't know if they just walked in there thinking they're going to beat the lowly Vikings or what. I don't know.
Yeah. It's like I'm sure it was very cathartic for Vikings fans, especially seeing Stephon Diggs on the losing end of that too. Even though Diggs himself had a decent game, 10 receptions for 94 yards, but yeah, it was Sam Darnold all the way in this one. It was incredible.
Oh, yeah. It wasn't close.
It was not close. Not even towards the end. But speaking of a game that was close and really shouldn't have been close, but oh my God, when you wait till the fourth quarter to score your points and you win by almost a complete fluke. Thank God you had Dallas Goedert have a career day, 170 yards. 15-12, Eagles steal a win, and I do mean steal. They stole that win from the New Orleans Saints. I mean, good heavens almighty. Jalen Hurts, you look at it, 311 yards, but one interception, no touchdowns, and Saquon Barkley doing, some of the heavy lifting on his deal. Yeah, give the game ball to Dallas Goedert because, oh my God, was that ridiculous from Jalen.
And this is the week I had to face him in fantasy.
Go figure, right?
Of course.
All righty. Well, here's another big surprise, too, and
Yeah.
I guess it had to happen eventually. I honestly just didn't expect it to happen to the Buccaneers? ?
Yeah.
Because I thought, all right, well, hey, the Buccaneers, they look pretty solid and everything too. At
really
home,
it was happening to the Chiefs.
At home, honestly, my goodness.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Hey, hats off to Bo Nix. Hats off to Bo Nix. He stared that Bo Picks meme in the face and slapped it and said, "No, I'm the captain now. I am Bo Nix. I am the future of this franchise." Even though Will Lutz kicked 4 field goals to, really, really put things away there too. Nix did enough. That's all they could ask. Just don't make bad throws, and remember that Cortland Sutton's on your team.
Exactly.
That's all you got to do.
Now
Also,
the next game.
That defense though too definitely helped. Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
I want to talk about this one for sure.
Oh my gosh! So it's your division rival. I'll let you steal.
Oh man, never I've been so happy for an Andy Dalton performance. Honestly, I was like, he's been that guy. It's like Andy Dalton's like, okay, I know who it is. I care less what he does too. Wow, that is awesome. That was insane. Andy Dalton, 319 yards and 3 touchdowns. He is the only passer to have 300 yards passing and 3 touchdowns in a game this year. Andy Dalton. That's insane to me. A lot of apparent business decisions made from the words of the Raiders head coach Antonio Pierce. Kind of rich coming from him.
He makes bad business decisions.
Exactly. And it was, the best part was it was in Vegas. It happened in Vegas too. So, I almost feel a little bad for Bryce Young because he almost felt like he got a raw deal. And then you see Andy Dalton come in and actually he's got the same weapons as Bryce Young. Where did Bryce Young go wrong? And apparently, apparently this is what should have happened. Andy Dalton should have probably been the starter from day one, and Bryce Young should have sat behind him and probably learned, how things go in an NFL league too. And Bryce was, left hung out to dry last year. Not a positive season at all for him, and it started off even worse somehow this year. And now Panthers fans actually kind of have hope, it seems like, and There was the meme that was circulating around too. I shared it on the Discord. Andy Dalton has the opportunity to do something so ridiculously funny, and you know what? I am one of his biggest fans right now. I hope he does it. I hope he goes into the jungle against Cincinnati and takes care of business and gives the double bird on the way out to his former team. That would be, forget comeback player of the year. Just put him in the MVP conversation at this point now, too. MVP, man, all the way. Andy Dalton, Red Rocket, all the way.
I don't think the Bengals' pride could handle that.
Ooh.
They built themselves up. Oh, we're the Super Bowl contender this year. Oh, we're the only ones that are really built to beat the Chiefs.
Ooh.
Oh, yes. And they suck.
If it wasn't for all the refs, that's all I've seen from the Bengals fans, like the missed DPI against the Commanders last week too. Even though Scary Terry burned the defender right at the very end. Was that CTB that he burned? I don't even know if it was. I think it was. That'd be great if it was. I would love that so much. Oh man. Alrighty. Well, speaking of something, speaking of something like people probably don't love, Dolphins fans definitely don't love this. Skylar Thompson died for their sins. Seattle Seahawks take down the Dolphins, the quarterbackless Dolphins, 24-3. Wasn't even close. Tim Boyle had to come in at one point. I mean,
and the refs were very involved on this game too.
Yeah, they were very involved in this game too. I'm surprised this didn't just combust from how many times it was thrown onto the field. Oh, this is fun. I'll let you talk about this one, even though it's a division rival that won, but it was still fun.
So
you're kind of split on this
I
one.
I was very torn on this game because I don't like the Cowboys. I mean, it'd be funny, Cowboys losing 2 games in a row, but at the same time, when the Cowboys were coming back, I'm like, oh, this would be so funny. So funny for the Ravens to blow yet another fourth quarter lead and go 0-3. But I think this is probably the best of both worlds. The Cowboys get humbled, but it also showed the Ravens that, hey, we're still letting things go in the fourth quarter. Jeez. So, but the Cowboys, oh my gosh, they got to figure something out on this rush defense. I mean, we have the best defense in the league. Micah Parsons, he's the best edge rusher in the league. The guy can't contain shit.
Oh, jeez. This is freaking ridiculous. Look at this. Look at me, 2 Kayvon Thibodeau cards. One's green, one's orange. Yeah, gee, thanks. God.
No Malik Neighbors.
No Malik. Well, hold on. Did I get Neighbors? Hold on here. No, it's Brian Burns. That's right. I was like, I knew I had another Giants player in here somewhere, but it's Brian Burns, the linebacker. So yeah. Oh well, I still got this whole pack to go through here too. So who knows? Maybe I'll stumble upon him. We'll see. Well, speaking of the red out I mentioned earlier too, the LA Rams somehow, some way rally from double digits, come back and steal it at home. It's funny seeing you steal a game on your home turf, but it feels like an away game because it's like infested with the visiting team supporters. So, but wow, yeah, we wondered when the injuries were going to catch up to the 49ers. They found a way. Even though, Herculean effort from Juwan Jennings, 3 touchdowns, with 175 yards too. I mean, it's almost like you should have paid him instead of Brandon Ayuk, who dropped a key long pass later on too. So, but dodged a bullet with that one, didn't you, Steelers fans?
I think we did. One of those cases of maybe the GMs know better than us fans.
Absolutely. Yeah, well, in a division full of 1 and 2 teams, except for the undefeated Seahawks, we go to the Arizona Cardinals, who looked like they were pretty hyped up after last week's win, but the Lions seems like brought them back down to earth. Not a flashy game. Most of the scoring happened in the first half, but Amon-Ra St. Brown with 75 yards and a touchdown. Montgomery with a rushing touchdown himself, 105 rushing yard day. Lions take care of business on the road against the Cardinals and get back to their winning ways. And boy, they're really going to have to clean up their act if they want to keep up with Sam Darnold and those red-hot Vikings, aren't they?
Yeah, no, this is another one of those kind of like our division, people are slipping away. Lions cannot afford to lose many games because Green Bay is still looking good without Love. Mm-hmm. Sam Darnold is looking good. Really, the only one that's not looking good right now is the Lions are still. I don't know.
Yeah,
Bears.
Chicago, as I say, yeah, they're kind of meh right now. So that'll say. Speaking of meh, we'll be definitely taking a deeper look next week for the Week 4 tier maker. I'm excited to bring that back too, especially when we, if both of our teams are undefeated, debate on who we think is going to be the Super Bowl contender of the AFC.
There's no debate.
Stay tuned for that. Well, speaking of one of the contenders, a team that's definitely made a case for it, and oh my God, stop, they're already dead. The Buffalo Bills destroying the already destroyed Jacksonville Jaguars. I mean, good God, I mean, they had a family. It's not fair. It's just.
And this has kind of been a team that's had the Bills' number over the years.
Exactly.
And they put that to bed badly.
Oh
I mean, oh my gosh. I mean, like the very first play, Mac Jones comes in, there's a strip sack, almost for a touchdown. Oh gosh, it was everything that could go wrong went wrong for the Jaguars, and everything that could go right for the Bills went right. Even Trubisky was in there.
It was 34-3. At halftime. That's a final score.
Yeah.
It was 31-point difference going into halftime.
And it really could have been more.
They should have just called it.
Oh my
God.
And destroy them some more, they could have.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, we'll let that game lay to rest here too. But I'll let you bring up this last one because you enjoyed it, almost as much as I did, if not more probably.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, you've recently hated the Bengals. I've hated them for a long time, especially because they always seem to injure our star players going into the playoffs every single year. Kind of robbing us. But, the Bengals, I just thought it'd be so hilarious if they lose this game, but it's the Commanders. Probably going to win it. And the Commanders did not back down. Jaden Daniels looked like the number 1 pick overall. A lot more than Caleb did. He looked confident in the pocket. He looked confident on the, rolling out to the outside. But scored in every single drive. No defensive stops against a rookie QB.
Hey.
And that's insane.
Hey. How does my surprise wildcard pit look right now?
Looking pretty good.
It's pretty early though. A lot can happen there too. But if he keeps playing like that, I mean, watch out NFC East. Honestly, it's the Eagles. They're kind of tripping and falling over themselves. Cowboys, not looking so good, not looking so hot right now too. Is it time for Washington to take command? I guess we can find out.
We definitely can. I mean. How hilarious would it be if it's Giants and the Commanders on top of the division with the Eagles and Dallas down at the bottom?
That would sound very NFC East like. Honestly. The team you thought was going to be good absolutely sucks, and then someone comes in out of nowhere and takes it. I don't know. We'll see. We shall see. But we shall also see you all next week. As we mentioned, we've got the Week 4 Progress Report tier maker. I'm so excited about that. It's always a good time to talk about that. Once again, it's always the Super Bowl contender. We got playoff contender. We've got the meh teams. We got the blah teams. And we got the teams that are just absolute trash. And boy, is that going to be fun to talk about. Because there's some very worthy contenders for the trash category, and boy, we can't wait to throw them in the dumpster. So, all right. Any closing thoughts, Trajan? I brought up the Chiefs and Chargers play Sunday afternoon, 3:30. What's on tap for the Steelers this week? Got the Colts, right?
We got the Colts there. Hopefully another win, and I think you guys can handle the Chargers. I mean, we beat them with our backup quarterback. So it should be good.
Yeah, you had to make it fair, right? You had to put in their backup quarterback too, right?
Exactly. Technically, on paper, we started our backup quarterback.
Oh, good Lord. Patting the stats here, I see. All right, well, let us know down below. What was your biggest surprise from the Week 3 results? And who do you think will be the biggest surprise next week for Week 4? We'd love to hear for you down in the comments below. But Thank you, everybody, so much for watching. Click like if you like this video. Click subscribe if you really enjoyed it. Tell all of your friends, and we'll see you all next week. The Progress Report. Get that towel out of here.
Oh, you're going to live with this towel.